This is madness. How much longer will this council be held hostage to its missing members? Their behavior is inexcusable.
Ambassador Delenn remains indisposed.
Indisposed? She's in a cocoon!
Yes?
And do you have any idea when Ambassador Jakar will decide to grace us with his presence? For that matter, do you have any idea where he is? There, you see? One deserts his post without any explanation. The other one picks the most breathtakingly inconvenient moment possible to explore new career options, like becoming a butterfly.
Welcome back.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
And this is
We Are All Kosh.
a Babylon 5 fancast. Damn it, I forgot to look up my talk for ad nauseum. I don't know however you would describe our podcast.
Ramble.
Babylon 5 ramble. A Babylon 5 recap. We do
riff.
recap.
Fan riff.
Oh, yeah, we are that's sort of our shtick. In fact, that's why we do the recaps, because when we first started with Come In 81 Kilo, we tried out not going through the episode, just talking about the episode, but it's much more fun when you go through it because then you remember all the stuff that you wanted to talk about. Yeah. I'm going to read you a poem. Do you want to hear a poem?
Go.
This is The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats? Yates?
Yeats.
Yates. All I remember is that they get it wrong in Equilibrium. I don't remember what they say. I just remember whatever it is that Sean Bean says is the incorrect pronunciation. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming, hardly are those words out when a vast image of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun, is moving its slow thighs, while all about it reel shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. What's really funny is this is another poem that gets used, like, a lot. Like, Stephen King uses this in The Stand.
Okay.
And remember that book about the yams? Did you have to read the book about Things Fall Apart? It's one of those books that you read in high school, and I'm pretty sure only read it in high school, and it's called Things Fall Apart, and it's set in Africa. A country in Africa. I'm sorry. I know Africa is not a country, but I don't actually remember the exact country that it's set in. And the guy is like the head of his village because he has the most yams.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, all I remember is the yams.
William Butler Yeats.
Yates. Okay. Anyway, so it's a good poem. It's short. It kind of feels like Child Roland to the Dark Tower came, where really somebody wrote a poem and then everyone was like, well, I can riff on that for all of eternity.
Right.
Yeah. So it's good. This is the poem, of course, that Jakar quotes at the very end. And apparently JMS said he likes to include things like the Lincoln quote or the snippet from the poem because he feels that a lot of television viewers are not necessarily also literary, and it's his way of sneaking in tidbits like, hey, don't you want to look up this poem? Hey, don't you want to look up what other poems Yeats has written?
Yeah, and it's short enough to not be intimidating.
Right. Unlike Child Roll Into the Dark Tower Came,
Yeah.
which is,
Oh, that's actually, it's not that
it's
long.
still long.
It's long for a poem.
It's not an epic poem by
Right.
any stretch, but it's a fairly long poem. And it's very twisty. Some poems, like this one, is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. That hits. It's pretty hard. And it's just really easy to understand and to, see in your real life. So anyway, I just wanted to start with that because this is where we're kicking off the coming of the shadows. So this is going to dominate the background story, the overarching plot for the rest of the series.
Yeah, I think this episode kind of finishes the intro to season 2.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why I don't like season 1 as well as I like the others, because thematically 2, 3, 4, and 5 are different from 1. Because 1 is, it's signs and portents. It's things are falling apart. Things are not cut. Things are
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing, but there's no shadow. Like the conflict has not started. It is all seeding the conflict, but also shenanigans like TKO and Soul Hunter and Monster of the Week type episodes. Probably because there were so many guest writers.
Characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because there were so many guest writers and it was an unproven concept. And
you mentioned in his book, his memoirs, he says that he had to make season 1 more like a sitcom.
Yeah, more serial than the later ones or more like you would have experienced in television at the time because he needed to generate an audience.
Yeah.
And he did.
And convince the executives
that it was going to work.
Yeah.
And now it's time to like really fucking kick it off.
Yeah.
And he said he took away the to be continued at the end of Chrysalis because he really felt like it was more of a 3-parter and that this is the conclusion to the 3-part story.
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I get that.
That's why I said it feels like this finishes up the intro.
Yeah. Because we've set everything up now. We've done the switch, which I read another one of his, the forum posts, and a lot of attention was given to casting decisions, which was really interesting. Not anything else, but just like, why did you get rid of Sinclair? And he's like, I didn't get rid of Sinclair. If I was going to say that I would never say that I fired an actor, but I'd tell you if an actor left voluntarily, and he left voluntarily.
Yeah.
But he didn't say why, because that was part of his promise with Michael O'Hare. And these are all contemporary criticisms, so whatever. And then defending his choice of Bruce Boxleitner again. Like, okay. And then a lot of attention was given to the recasting of Natoth, which I thought was really interesting. Because apparently the first Kodath, the first one, she started refusing to wear like the contacts and the other makeup.
Oh.
She didn't want to put on the Narn makeup.
Okay.
So thank you very much for your time. Fuck off. Like, you're a Narn, you got to wear the Narn shit. And, maybe she was having an issue with the contacts or whatever. Right. And so they needed to replace her quickly. And somebody knew Caitlin, the lady who became Natoth, and asked her if she would please step in. And so she did, but did not sign a 5-year contract, just signed like a for now contract.
Right.
And so she was in all of her episodes in season 1 and was actually turning down roles because she had just been like a lead romantic actress in some movie with Jack Nicholson, which I couldn't figure out which one, and was hoping to have a larger career.
Right.
But felt like she was giving her time to Babylon 5, but it wasn't lucrative enough for her to be turning down the other opportunities that were coming.
Right.
And because she didn't sign a contract, she was fully capable of leaving and did. No hard feelings, just I want to pursue my career outside of Babylon 5. I'm going to go, which then I looked up her IMDb and girl, you should have stayed on Babylon 5. She did not go off to do anything else, but it's okay. So
she was really good as Natoth.
Yeah, so they had a casting call, and they ended up casting this lady, Mary Kay.
Okay.
And He has a line where he's like, we think she's trying to reinterpret the character. Don't worry, we're handling it. And he said he hopes that in time you won't even notice the difference. You do. It's fine. No one does Natoth like Caitlin does Natoth. He said they really didn't want to recreate a new character just like they did between Kodath and
Honestly, I think it would have been fine, and it would only reinforce the reputation of the Narn.
Yeah. To have Natoth leave and then bring
to have Natoth die recklessly.
Yeah.
And Jakar needs to have another new diplomatic attaché.
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to lose Natoth's history with Jakar.
Right.
And you have to remember, a lot of the people coming in would not have seen season 1. They don't know what old Natoth was like.
Right. Yeah, this was easier to do.
So
in the era of
easier
broadcast.
than trying to work in, did she just read Natoth's memoirs or whatever? Because they needed a character with prior knowledge. I have a feeling she probably had a larger role, and then they ended up reducing it because Mary Kay just never, I don't think. I don't remember Natoth in season 2, so I feel like she must not get it together.
Yeah.
I feel for her because there's a couple of scenes where she's supposed to be just face acting, like listening to Jakar, and she's just like there's no thoughts behind the eyes. Just like, she doesn't even look like she's listening. She looks like they were like, stand there and just look off camera as if you're looking at Jakar. And she was like, okay, maybe it's the name Mary Kay. Maybe that's what it feels like. Hi, my name's Mary Kay. Anyway, this was first aired November 11th, 1994. This being season 2, episode 2, Revelations. Came out November 11th of 1994.
Okay.
So we're all the way
Another
in.
jump.
Yeah, a bit of a jump. The last ones were in October. So really, we waited, and then we had like...
I guess Garibaldi's been in a coma for 3 weeks at this point.
Yeah. Well, it takes place between the 12th and the 19th of January 2259. So It's only been 10 days since Sheridan arrived. No, it's been 10 days. No.
He said
10 by the end
week.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah, 10
because
by the end
he
of it.
comes the 8th-ish, 5 days or whatever. So I don't know, dates, whatever. It hasn't been that long. It's been, I think Garibaldi wakes up the 19th-ish. So he's in the coma for, close to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it doesn't make sense when Sheridan's sister is like, oh, you're only talking about work.
Right,
Like,
it's
you're
a
not
new
talking
job.
about anything else. Dude, he was on the rim for 2 years. He was locked in a sealed capsule with a bunch of dudes. You probably don't want to know what he was doing on the rim for the last couple of years, okay? Especially since we haven't gotten there yet, but sexual fluidity has become such an acceptable thing that we don't even comment on it anymore.
Right.
So you had a bunch of lonely guys on the rim for a couple of years. You don't want to know, okay? You really want him to not talk about work? Don't ask him to talk about that. And then he came back, and he's been here for a hot minute, a week.
Right. He said this is his second week on the job.
And she's like, what do you mean you're not even dating?
Bruh.
Fuck off.
Give him a minute.
Fuck off. She's so annoying. Anyway, this is directed by Jim Johnston, who did Soul Hunter and Babylon Squared.
Okay.
That guy. Beverly Leach is the lady who plays Elizabeth Sheridan. She's in nothing else, but she is in an episode of Alien Nation. And I would love to eventually do Alien Nation because I want to know how well Alien Nation has held up.
Yeah.
Did you watch Alien Nation?
Was that the one from the 90s?
That's the one where a spaceship, it's kind of like District 9, but with humanoid aliens. Because that ship shows up and it's a bunch of...
Is that the one where they move their whole bodies very gracefully a lot?
Oh, no.
Hand
That
gestures?
is Earth Final Conflict.
Yeah, okay.
That's Earth Final Conflict. No, the
Alien Nation is the buddy cop version.
cop episode, yes.
Okay.
And they're allergic to salt water.
I didn't remember that.
So people attack them with water guns with salt water in them, because it burns their skin. But it's Star Trek where they were trying to tackle racism, but as it's not black people we're mad at, it's these aliens that have arrived.
And in contemporary Earth setting
Yeah.
instead of
I
future
remember
space.
it being very progressive because I think there's even a part where his partner, who is played by a male actor and
Yeah.
is treated as male in the series, gets pregnant.
I
Because
think I remember that too.
and so he has to confront like gender norms because
Mhm.
they're like, yeah, of course I'm pregnant. Why would I not be the one who's pregnant? I remember it being very good. And there's movies, there's a lot of content around it, and it has largely disappeared. So I kind of want to go back and watch it again. Not anytime soon, obviously, but we've got
in the 5 to 10 year plan.
decades of podcasting ahead of us. And then Beth Toussaint is Anna Sheridan. She played in 34 episodes of a series called Savannah, which I've never heard of. Just carrying on the theme of these people being in television shows, I've legitimately never heard of. And it ran from 1996 to 1997. And she's in a movie called Fortress 2 Re-Entry from 2000 with Christopher Lambert. And if you go to her IMDb page, the trailer for that is playing at the top. And I saw Christopher Lambert's face is like the first thing you see. And I was like, Chris, what the fuck are you doing here? And so I had to sit. And I want everyone to take a moment and say, thank you, Rachel, because that trailer was 8 fucking minutes long. And I had to sit through the whole thing waiting to find out what the title was because nowhere on it does it say what the title is. And it's like, no escape. And it's like Christopher Lambert going through all these. Somehow he's riding a horse and then he's in space. I don't know. I got nothing about what the movie was about from the trailer except that Christopher Lambert is in it. Anyway, and she's in it.
Okay.
And she's also married to the horn-rimmed glasses guy from Heroes.
Oh.
The man in the horn-rimmed
Yeah.
glasses. Yeah, she's been married to him since like 1994. Like a long
Cool.
time. And she's never been in anything else. Like that's it. This was her career. She showed up just to be on this clip and they even recast her. And then in future clips, they take that scene out and put in a new version with the new actress. Yep. David L. Crawley is the guy who plays Lou Welch. And I think we already talked about what Lou has been in.
Mm-hmm.
He's only in 7 episodes in total of Babylon 5. And I don't know why he's such a memorable character. Because every time I see him, I'm like, Lou! But he's only in 7 total episodes.
Probably because he has a name.
Maybe. He's not. He's going to disappear pretty quickly. I think that we replace him with the guy from Grease. We'll get there. Anyway.
Okay.
And then Gary McGurk is the guy who plays Morgan Clark. And for his impact on the series, he's only in 4 episodes. Like we only see his face 4 times. And this might be one of the few times we actually interact with him and he's not just a recording on a screen.
Right.
Apparently he played a guy named Dwayne Hoover in Home Improvement as a recurring character. He was in like 11 episodes.
Interesting.
Oh, and this is something that I thought I should note. Remember when Garibaldi was reading the newspaper in Sky Full of Stars and we paused and read all of the headlines?
Yes.
One of the headlines was about the scandal with the Psi Corps endorsing Vice President Morgan Clark. So this was foreshadowed all the way back in A Sky Full of Stars.
Good job, JMS.
I know, it was really great. So that opening, we open on like people outside in space. And it's like hazardous material.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting to cold open with a close-up CG shot.
Yeah.
With a person in a spacesuit and have that person not really move like a person.
They're trying their best. This is cleaning up the debris from the Minbari spaceship that blew up.
Oh, that
That's
makes
what JMS
sense.
said. He was like, well, they're out there cleaning up
Yeah.
from, hazardous. But they cut the fucking engine off and it's just floating around. You can't leave debris
Right.
just floating because there's no gravity to pull it anywhere. It would just stay by the jump gate. So they have to clear it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're doing. I thought that was an interesting continuity thing because we've had other stuff blow up and then we don't really talk about like, what do? You can't leave it.
They could have added a voiceover of like with the person
I think it was
in the frame about, cleaning up because there wasn't enough context there for me.
But I don't think it mattered. I think it was just like, if you get it, you get it. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. It was like an Easter egg for himself and for the
Gotcha.
fans that he interacted with online.
Mhm.
I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we go to the council chamber, and the only member of the council who's actually present at this point is Londo and Kosh, but who gives a shit about Kosh?
I made a note. Kosh is actually there.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, he's usually there. He's just usually like, he's just watching TV. Like,
Like Murderbot?
yeah, like Murderbot. That's why his little sphincter is not open. He's just in there. What are you doing? I'm watching. What are you watching? Television. Premium content. Premium quality show. But Londo's like, the fuck is this? I'm the responsible one on this council. Are you serious right now? He goes, how much longer will this council be held hostage by its missing members?
Yeah, as Londo just kind of complaining about Delenn and Jakar.
Yeah, well, I love it. I love it because he's like, this behavior is inexcusable. And Lanier's like, Delenn is indisposed. And he's like, indisposed? She's in a fucking cocoon. And Lanier's like, yeah, and he must think, Lanier's like, didn't we go out? Aren't we friends? You ran up like a 2,000 credit tab on my credit card. Are we not bros? Londo, do you betray me this way? And then he looks over at not Natoth, and he's like, and do you have any idea when Ambassador Jakar will decide to grace us with his presence? Oh, for that matter, do you even know where the fuck he is?
And then
And
gives
she
a
just goes-
not answer.
And then he goes, oh, yeah, and the other one has picked the most breathtakingly inconvenient moment possible to explore new career options, like becoming a butterfly. I wonder, do the Centauri have creatures on their world that go into cocoons? Or is that exclusively an Earth organism thing? Because he doesn't have an analog on Centauri to compare it to.
That's a good question.
And there's not a race that goes through a metamorphosis like this because we can't compare it to a race. Literally the only thing they have to compare it to is butterflies. So,
Which Londo would be familiar with because
Right.
he obsessively studies Earth culture.
right, but the Triluminary, we know, predates the Minbari Society because they found it, which means
Right.
that the technology to create the cocoon was created before they were aware that there was a species that went through metamorphosis by using
There
a
are
cocoon.
probably other species in the galaxy that go through a metamorphosis.
They either had to create this entirely independent of any external inspiration, or there is somewhere in the world, in the universe, in the vastness of space, where someone or something goes through change by using a cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do if you don't have a wall to stick it to? Do you
Just
have
go on
to
the
have
floor.
one? Do you have to build like a solid surface and point it at it? Oh, point at the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do it on the floor.
Okay. I just wanted to point out this is very earth coded. Like it has to, it doesn't have to, but it feels very coincidental.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to have Londo use a Centauri word
Yeah.
and then like think for a second and say cocoon.
Yeah. To imply that this is larger than something that happens on Earth.
Or that it's not unfamiliar to him.
Right. Or to the Minbari. Because they're not shocked by the cocoon. They're not shocked by it.
Right.
Lanier's like, yeah, of course she's in a cocoon. Right. Obviously. Not a chrysalis, specifically. And does not question it.
Right.
So they must have something on their planet that is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, just want to point that out. It's not a continuity error or anything. It's just an odd way
It
to.
feels like I'm thinking of the word anachronism. Is there an analog of anachronism for cultural differences where it's a little bit jarring that you're carrying over some assumptions from one cultural situation to another?
Yeah, without any real explanation. It's kind of like the gin and tonic, and that it's independently developed in every single culture.
In Hitchhiker's Guide
in
to the
Hitchhiker's
Galaxy.
Guide to the Galaxy. So it's like someone at some point in the so distant past that it's mythological created a device that made a cocoon that just happened to be exactly like a species that exists on Earth.
Right.
And I don't think this is like Star Trek where we find that one race seeded all the worlds and that's why they're all like bipedal humanoids.
Right.
But it's just interesting that someone who would not have even had the vaguest conception of Earth would create a thing that is similar to an Earth thing.
Yeah.
I mean, in the vastness of space, the probability of everything is not zero.
Right.
So there is the chance that this was independently created. But it's interesting that they use the cocoon as a means of transforming Delenn and not something else. Clearly, I don't want it to be technology. I don't want it to be like a transformation pod or something.
Right.
But not even like an energy ball or it's literally a butterfly cocoon. It's made of like silk filaments.
Right.
Anyway, I think we've belabored this long enough. I just wanted to point out it's objectively weird that it's a cocoon. Weird on multiple levels. Weird in that it feels odd to have it on a spaceship,
Right.
but also
it feels implausible.
implausible.
That that such a coincidence happened.
And you could have solved this by simply having everyone have an analog on their planet.
Right.
Like the Centauri have a thing, the Minbari have a thing, the Narn have a thing, and then you're like, oh, it's a thing. Maybe it's a thing that was.
It's a common pattern.
Yeah,
That's
it's either
been
a common pattern
observed.
that like life, like over a long enough evolutionary time span, everything becomes crabs.
Right.
Like that. Except it would be something like some technology at some point was so pervasive that it became part of each ecosystem, but maybe has become something very banal at this point. I don't know. When you're working with the timescales that JMS is clearly asking us to work with, you can play with a lot of this stuff. And I just feel like he didn't have the space to play.
Yeah.
Although I think the rumor mill is churning again about the reboot of Babylon 5. So maybe we'll get an explanation
We'll
for the
see.
cocoon in the reboot. But Londo is like, listen, I think we should reprimand both governments and demand that they assign somebody new to the council so we can stop being ineffective, so we can actually get shit done.
Right.
Is there a second? And just crickets. Like, who's going to second him? The only person who would really second him is Sheridan,
Right.
which may be like a temperature check on Sheridan.
Yeah.
Like, is Sheridan going to back me, or am I in another Sinclair situation where he sees right through my bullshit, or like what? I don't understand. And Sheridan just goes, yeah, okay, so seeing that the motion isn't carried, I suggest we just table this whole agenda and adjourn for the rest of the day. And we can reconvene tomorrow and try this again. And this is when Londo looks at Natath and
And
he's like,
confronts her again.
you
yeah.
haven't answered my question. Where is Ambassador Jakar? And she's like, meh, I don't know. I literally don't know. He didn't even say. He was like, don't contact me, I'll contact you. He left to investigate the attack on our base in Quadrant 37, and I haven't had any word, so meh, Ambassador Jakar can take care of himself. And then we cut to Ambassador Jakar taking care of himself. Only himself. Because
Well,
he's in a group. He's in a group, and there's like these weird little, I don't know. They look like those toys that the kids get where you put the ball in their nose.
It's like a sea urchin form of the shadow fighters.
Right. But you know what I'm talking about? The toy where you take the foam ball and you stick it in their nose and then you squeeze
Yeah.
the whole toy and the ball shoots out?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. And they're like, run away harder. They're running away. And of course, everybody but Jakar gets blown up. And they're like,
they all
they're like,
sacrifice
"Leave
themselves.
us. Tell the others. Warn them. In death, we salute you. Honor our names." We don't know their names, and we're never going to know their names, but it's fine. Because as soon as they die, As soon as they died, Jakar's like, Jaquan, bless your names, whatever they were. I don't know. I don't know who you were, but your names. You will be remembered with honor. And then he never talks about them ever again. Maybe they just have like a thing. They just have like a ceremony, like the tomb of the unnamed soldier or whatever. We'll honor your name, name-ish. Somewhere in there, I don't know.
I'll write it down somewhere.
We'll honor the idea of you. It's no problem. And then he sets his jump gate sequence, destination Babylon 5. And for a minute, I thought that they were at Zahadum. I don't think they are. I think they're at 1, because he says they went and toured the planets where they used to have people who were in league with the shadows. And they've been empty for 1,000 years, and now they're waking up.
Right.
Because I was like, why is there a jump gate all the way out at Zahadum? That don't make no sense. That's way out there. And where Zahadum is supposed to be very mysterious. We're not supposed to know anything about it. And JMS said, no, it is not a reference to Khazad-dûm.
Okay.
Yeah. He was like, I don't know. It's like a Minbari name. And then I put Doom on there. And I didn't even think about it being like Khazad-dûm. Anyway, what I was thinking in this section was I wish we really had a clear idea of the cost of jump gates versus jump point making engines. Because some large battleships like the Agamemnon will be capable of creating their own jump point.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes we construct these jump gates. Because we know from previous discussions that jump gates require a mineral that is limited availability.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, Carolyn is going to go and survey that planet.
Right, and she finds a bunch of it.
Right, and so she's made a bunch of money because they're like 6 months behind on constructing jump gates because this mineral is so hard to find.
Yeah.
And yet we build a jump gate and we leave it all the way out on the rim at a dead world that hasn't seen life in 1,000 years.
Right. Unless there's other things in that sector.
Right. So I just want to know what the cost is for jump gates versus jump engines, I guess. If you
Well, we also know that the Narn warship is out of communication for some time after creating a jump point because the power draw is so significant.
Right.
So a full-size like Narn warship barely has enough power
to create a jump point. Okay. So it could just be unrealistic to expect a small craft to be able to open its own jump point.
Right.
Even though, are they scalable? Can you open a small jump point? Or do they all have to be big?
I don't think
know.
there's a size difference.
Oh, you think it's just a hole?
I think it's like in Interstellar.
Okay.
It's a 3-dimensional hole.
Okay. All right.
And so any direction that you're looking at the jump point, it looks the same.
Gotcha. Okay.
Although we'll get there when we get to the
well, you get to use the line. So then we get some smooth jazz.
I know I made a note, jazz.
I don't think this is fresh air. I think this is like the crew lounge. Because
I think this is just the fancy club. I think Sheridan is a little more cultured than Sinclair. Or he has more refined tastes than Sinclair.
I think this is the crew lounge because everybody in there is either someone we know is in the crew or is wearing like a uniform.
Okay.
So I think this might be like the hoity-toity crew lounge because later Sheridan takes his sister to what seems like it's probably fresh air.
Okay.
And it's not this place. So This is like the happen and hangout spot for higher ups, maybe visiting dignitaries and staff.
It may just be the more exclusive club.
Yeah. I don't know what this place is.
As an alternative to...
I know it plays jazz, which would be enough to keep me out of it. It reminds me of Preacher when they're trying to track down God and they go to that strip club And they're like,
and
oh,
he
did
goes
he
to
have
weird
somebody?
jazz clubs.
Well, they go to that one strip club and they're like, well, who was he here for? Did he have a girl? And they're like, no, man, he was here for the jazz. Okay.
So anyway, smooth jazz, Sheridan.
Yeah, and they're talking to the
Dr.
doctor.
Franklin.
Yeah, Dr. Franklin and Sheridan have a moment because what they're trying to figure out is like, how's Mr. Garibaldi?
Well, Franklin came here specifically to ask Sheridan about what to do about Mr. Garibaldi.
Right, because he's not getting better.
I have an idea.
I was like, oh, Matt's going to love this.
Can you unlock the room so I can use the alien artifact?
I need the keys.
I made a note. I said, as soon as Sinclair leaves, Dr. Franklin asks the new adult in the room, hey, Sinclair wouldn't let me use this thing. Well, he doesn't start with that. He just says, hey, I have this thing. It might be dangerous, but I have an idea of how to use it. Now I have an opportunity to use it to justify asking for it. And once it's out...
Do I have to put it back? It's like asking the other parent and not
Yeah,
telling.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
What did your mom say? I don't want to talk about it. There's just a label on the keys. It's like, do not give to Dr. Franklin. Oh, that's a
Why
joke.
do I have this note from Sinclair saying, don't open the special cabinet for Dr. Franklin? He can't be trusted.
It's like when a cat tells you that they haven't been fed yet. And you're like, I know you're lying. And the cat's like, I would never lie. That's Dr. Franklin. Because he's like, frankly, Garibaldi's not doing great. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you about. Because I've tried everything.
My note was, as soon as Sinclair leaves, Dr. Franklin asks the babysitter.
Exactly. Well, usually they let me have it. It's just that it's locked right now for some reason.
I just need permission.
I just need you to give me the key. Just give me the fucking keys. I'm sorry, what? I mean, this is going to save Garibaldi's life because he's in a coma. He's not waking up. There is only one other option, and it is this piece of alien technology that I kind of maybe fell into possession of, and it's kind of unauthorized, and I just wanted to, run that by you. And Sheridan's like, okay, have you tried contacting his next of kin? And Dr. Franklin, I want him to be like, oh my God, really? Is that the first thing I'm supposed to do? I didn't even know. I'm not a doctor or anything.
Why do you think I'm here?
Yes, I tried and failed. And I'm afraid if we wait any longer, it's not going to do him any good. And Sheridan's like, okay, what are we talking about? And he's like, well, I kind of maybe have this alien device. It's capable of draining the life energy from one person and giving it to somebody else. And, it used to be like the death penalty or whatever. Yeah. And Sheridan goes, oh, sounds nasty. And Dr. Franklin's like, yeah, okay, but it can be used safely at lower settings. And Sheridan goes, are you speaking from personal experience? And he never ever mentions the woman who found the device and who figured out what it did.
Right.
Remember how he was going to credit her?
Mm-hmm.
So, and she has already just been
tisk.
like, I don't even remember, but no, I found it. I figured out how it works, but I haven't used it for myself. No, not personally. But I've seen it used, is what he says. I've seen it, whatever, used. Anyway, there's a risk, so I wanted to get your permission. And Sheridan's like, there's no other way. And he goes, no, this is his only hope.
His last best hope.
For consciousness.
For life.
And he goes, well, I guess we don't really have a choice then. If it's our only option, then yeah, I'm going to fucking do it. Who are you going to hook up to the machine? And he's like, I can't ask anyone else to take the risk. I could, but I'm trying to make a good first impression. So I'll do it. And then we come to Sheridan. That's the end of the discussion. He's like, you do it. Okay. Well, as long as you're the only one at risk. Your file is so big. I really just maybe you'll die. I won't have to deal with you. But Sheridan runs off to go greet his sister. And this was such an interesting way to introduce the idea that Sheridan has had a significant personal loss by having his really caricature of a character sister show up. Her only purpose is to give him someone to talk to about his dead wife.
Yeah.
No one talks or acts like she does in real life. And I think for the
I wonder if this is modeled after someone that JMS knows.
Why don't you have a girlfriend? It's been 6 days.
It's not common.
But it's not improbable.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, so if you've read Becoming Superman, you know that JMS struggles with interpersonal relationships because he was isolated a lot as a child.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, he's very good at modeling them on screen. For the most part. But every once in a while you're like, oh, that's not how people talk to each other. Like that's not it. It feels more like a performance than like an organic relationship.
Yeah.
Like now Kith. Like that's what it feels like. And not often, but sometimes. And this is one where I feel like it does because there is not a world where you lose your wife and I have a letter from her talking about how much she loves you and how much she's going to miss you.
And absolving me of guilt.
Yeah. And saying, well, it's lucky he canceled because I was going to cancel if he didn't.
Right.
And
she waited
she's been sitting
2
on this
years.
shit for 2 years. The minute somebody's wife dies, unless it's her going, well, I was fucking the guy from the mailroom, you're going to share all content that you have.
Anything neutral or positive.
Yeah, you're going to
share.
hand over because that's the only recording he's ever going to have of her because she's gone now.
Yeah.
So what world does a sister withhold this from her brother, who she knows is still mourning his wife?
Maybe she wanted to wait to give it to him in person, but he's been on this like extended tour of the Rim.
Well, she says, I've been debating about whether or not I should share this with you.
Yeah.
Why? What debate? What the fuck is there to debate? It's not like she reveals that she was having an affair or anything. She's just like, wow, I really love him so much. They say that love doesn't have borders, and I really feel like we prove it.
That would be exactly the kind of thing you send
Immediately.
right away. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, even if she didn't send it when he was on the Rim, maybe there's some sort of data restrictions in terms of sending
no.
files. It just
Even that.
in a world where maybe that's a thing, and that's why she didn't do it. Why didn't you send it immediately after she passed when he was not on the Rim? It doesn't make sense. It's fine.
Right.
She's fine. The whole thing is okay. It's not the greatest moment of interpersonal, and she never comes back. She's not a recurring character. This is the only episode she's ever in. Her entire purpose is to show up, provide plot points, and then leave.
Right.
And never return.
She's a foil for his tragic backstory.
Right. And she calls him Johnny, which is why I'm glad she never ever comes back. She's like, Johnny, oh my God, Johnny. And he's like, Lizzie, hey. She goes, hi, big brother. Oh, good. We get their relationship and their age relationship all in one statement. So excellent time crunch dialogue there.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's just like, hey, hi, how are you? And then she goes, wow, you look like you've gained weight. Oh, hello, 1994. I really... There you are. There you are. Sometimes Babylon 5 feels timeless. And sometimes you're like, whoop, okay.
Right. Like, this would have been better phrased as, wow, you look so much healthier than the last time I saw
wow,
you.
you look like you're doing great. And he's like, well, I was eating nothing but synthetics for 2 years. And I took one look at the garden
and
here.
Guilt.
And guilt because you've withheld critical information from me. I took one look at the garden and completely lost control, which means he's gained weight on fruits, vegetables, and leafy salad greens.
Hyperbole.
Maybe it's the salad dressing. It's not the leafy salad greens that get you. It's the salad dressing. But who in their right mind eats salad without salad dressing? It's a vehicle for whatever you put
For the
on it,
flavor.
for the flavor. I only eat salad because it doesn't make sense to put honey mustard on anything else. Okay. Oh, honey mustard dressing. Oh, no, that's not true. I eat that on chicken. And it's fine. It's fine. She goes, great. I'm starved. And so then they fuck off. And then we come back to Morden and Londo. And JMS had one line that I just want to share with you because it really felt like it could have come out of your mouth. And he said, Morden is human. More than that, I can't say.
That's a good one.
Yeah. More than that. I was like, oh, there it is. There's the pun. But he's like, oh, hey, what's up? Oh, I heard you were looking for me, Ambassador. How can I be of service? And Londo's like, you know what? Actually, I am still not over the Quadrant 37 thing. Where you like, it's been 10 days since you murdered 10,000 people. It's drawing quite a lot of attention. Yeah. And Morden's like, I mean, that was the point. So task failed successfully. I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah, that's what I was hoping it would do. And he's like, Londo says, you are absolutely certain it can't be traced back to me.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Morden's like, beyond a shadow of a doubt. The Narns will never be able to prove that it was done by your instigation. And based on your promise to take care of it, your government accepts that you're the one who did it without question or hesitation. So like, yay, we did a good job. Perfect symmetry is what he says. And I want to point out that they're like, the Narns will never be able to prove it was you, but everyone in the Centauri government knows it was you. Like the Narns don't have spies, well-established spies.
Right.
In the Centauri government. And when ever have they required definitive proof to blame Londo for anything? Ever.
Right. We know Jakar has people, it gets information from the high levels of the Centauri government because
he
knew when Londo withheld the Centauri government's decision about interfering in Ragesh 3.
Yeah.
Before Londo said anything.
Right.
Londo
he knew
was like,
by
we're
the
going to
time
keep
he
this
got
hush
there.
hush to see if the Earth government intervenes.
Right.
And Jakar called him out.
Right.
So Jakar should know pretty quickly that Londo is being credited with what happened in Quadrant 37.
Even enough to give him reasonable doubt that Londo is involved with the shadows. Because when Jakar comes back and he's like, we already sent a cruiser to Zahadum, it's going to take a picture and send it back, and then we'll know for sure whether the shadows are back or not.
There's only 3 other people in the room.
And one of them is Londo.
Yeah.
And at this point, Jakar should have heard that Londo has taken credit for the destruction of Quadrant 37.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that likely the shadows are the ones responsible for the destruction of Quadrant 37. Ipso facto, probably Londo is involved with the shadows. It would not take that great of a logical leap on Jakar's part, especially considering he hates
Londo.
He hates Londo. He's not like, wow, I can't believe my friend would do that thing
Jakar's
to me.
Always looking for something to pin on Londo.
He's like, that fucking asshole would absolutely murder 10,000 Narn. He's not going to be like, no, I can't.
Why do you think he's hungover this morning? Because he's still celebrating.
I can't believe that without definitive proof. That's a sentence that has never been uttered by Jakar ever in his life.
Regarding something about Londo.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Well, proof about maybe other things, but no. The Centauri, they just hate the Centauri. So the minute that someone's going to be like, well, the Centauri took credit, they're going to be like,
the rumor
those assholes
will be enough for them to grab onto.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a surprise that Jakar is not calling out Londo at this point.
Correct. Yeah, because we have established that
he has in the past.
Yeah, that both governments kind of spy on. Probably the Narn don't have Centauri spies, only because the hate of Centauri is so pervasive.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if you paid a Centauri enough money or you had enough dirt on them, they would absolutely report to the Narns. It's fine. I'm just calling it out. I see him and I got to say something. See something, say something.
So Londo's like, what if I need to convince somebody? What if I need another demonstration.
Yeah, what if I need to request another demonstration? And he's like, well, then we'll give you one, obviously. Simply choose your target. A colony? An outpost? ... And then Londo goes, why don't you eliminate the entire Narn homeworld while you're at it?
One thing at a time, Ambassador.
A colony. An outpost.
Why don't you eliminate the entire non-homeworld while you're at it?
One thing at a time, Ambassador. One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. And Londo's face is like, oh my God, that was a joke. I should not have said that. And JMS addressed this. He said, yes, Londo absolutely knows he's being played.
Mm-hmm.
But he sees this as his last opportunity to make something more out of his career.
Right.
Because he's old. He's in a dead end. He doesn't really have the ambition in his heart left to really fight for a higher position. So this is a way for him to get more without having to go through the regular channels.
Yeah.
He's being given an opportunity to climb the ranks.
Right before Morden came to offer, he wasn't
in a good place.
He was complaining to Veer about how the Centauri government is being so
weak.
Yeah. Weak.
Yeah.
By repeatedly conceding to the Narn.
They caught him at a really good moment.
Yeah.
A moment of weakness. And I mean, that's what happens.
Yep.
So Morden, before Londo leaves, is like, actually, just like one tiny little, just
about that favor that I mentioned before.
It's basically nothing. But if you should hear anything strange about strange things happening out on the rim, I'd really appreciate it if you just like give me a jingle,
Even if it's unimportant.
Holler at
any little old thing.
Holler at me. Just let me know. I'm here. I just love a good bit of gossip. Spill the tea, bring it on over. No big deal. Just like, it's barely anything, Ambassador. Just like the one little morsel. It's like the tiniest little thing. And anyway, you have a great day. And then he leaves. And then we go back and it's Sheridan talking to his sister, and he's so excitedly talking about his job. He's like, I mean, sure, I get restless, but like, if I want to see an alien I've never seen before, I just have to go shopping. I just have to go to the fucking grocery store, and they're like right there. And this place has its own rules. There's 1,000 different languages. There's people coming and going at all hours. There's like a lot of traffic and a lot of energy. And I really, really like it here. It's like there's a sense of being on the frontier, of like being on the cutting edge of diplomacy. And he sounds so excited. And she's like, okay. And he goes, oh, okay. How's your salad? And she's like, fine.
Everyone coming and going at all hours. Still, there's a terrific energy here. A sense of really being on the frontier. How's your salad?
Oh, it's fine.
Huh?
Fine.
You don't look fine.
It's just... we haven't seen each other in 2 years, and from the moment I got here, you haven't stopped talking about work. This is me, Johnny, remember?
I'm sorry. I just, seeing you again, it brings it all back.
She's a fucking killjoy is what she is.
Right. So she's chewing him out for talking about work too much. And he's not really talking about work. It's like, wow, I just moved to this city.
And I really love it here.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm telling you about my whole new... I'm sharing with you my, like, personal feelings about the new place that I live.
Yeah.
This isn't him, like, talking about work to avoid talking about what's happening in his head.
Right. He's
his lived
excited about
experience.
where he lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in a cool place. He's doing cool shit, and he's trying to share it with his sister, and she's like, it's fine. And he goes, you don't look fine. And she goes, it's just... we haven't seen each other in 2 years. And from the moment I got here, you haven't stopped talking about work. And it's like, okay, well, for 2 years, he was on the rim. He could only work.
Right.
It's not like they had a place to go or something. He was just in the Agamemnon for 2 years. And now he's here. It's exciting and it's different. He wants to share it with you. And he has also been here, I will remind you, like 10 fucking days. At most.
Right.
So
He's been back in
is he supposed
a city.
Is he supposed to already have a girlfriend? Is that what he's supposed to be doing? What is she she never articulates what she's asking him to have.
She wants nieces and nephews.
Oh no. Gross. Yeah, it's funny. We don't actually talk about that. Nobody puts any pressure on anybody to have kids. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe soon. Because she's like, you don't have to talk about work. This is me, Johnny. I want you to talk about how you're feeling. And he's like, I kind of felt like I was, but I guess I'll give you what you want, which is, yes, I still miss my wife. There you go. I said it. And seeing you again kind of brings it all back. And she pulls well, I knew her a long time before you did. And I lost her too, John. And it reminds me of every time your sister introduces me to somebody. She goes, I knew her first. I knew your sister for maybe a week before I met you. But she's like, yeah, well, she was my friend first.
And I've gotten over it.
Yeah. And he's like, I mean, nothing's the same since Anna passed away, which is fine. You don't have to go back to everything being the same. He's like, I need more time, which he is entitled to. More time. Grief doesn't have a timeline. Grief isn't linear. Grief doesn't have an expiration date. I saw a really good description of grief.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was really interesting. And it is all the love you want to share with that person that now has no place to go.
Yep.
So it's the buildup of unshareable love that you had for somebody. That they're gone and that you can't give it to them.
There's nowhere
again.
for it to go.
And so it builds up and you have to go through the process of losing them all over again to sort of cleanse yourself of that buildup. And then it builds up again. And I think that, I think maybe 3 or 4 days will be 3 years since my dad passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sick for a while before, so it's not like it was a shock, but you still lose him every time you grieve about him again.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you watch a movie and you wish he was there. Anyway, grief doesn't have to be linear. And I really fucking hate that she shows up and she's like, you should really be over her by now. What is wrong with you?
And so he has this really heartfelt.
It's beautiful. He's like, why do I have to still remind myself that she's gone then? Why do I see something interesting and I think, wow, I got to remember to tell Anna. And then I have to remind myself all over again that she's gone. I still miss her. Maybe if I had known that she didn't think I'd betrayed her at the very end, I could have let her go. He's like, I miss her and I love her as much right now as I did when she was still here. And his sister's like, I mean, I know. It's not easy. Fucking shut up. She's so annoying. I was so mad at this character. He goes, she says, she was my friend longer than you were married to her. Yes.
Right, because those are the same thing.
Yeah, those are the exact same thing. You're right. You guys being roommates in college is exactly the same as me being fucking married to her. You're correct. Yes, that's the exact. You know what? There are different kinds of love. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that the love between friends is any greater or any less than the love between a husband and a wife. But when you are a husband and wife and you share a life and you share a future and you spend all of your time together, even though they weren't together as much as you and I are.
Right.
It's the same way that losing a pet is as much of an impact as losing, or more of an impact than losing even a parent, because the pet is part of your daily life. Your routines are built around each other.
Right. You get reminded of it more often.
And so every time you come against a situation where, when I come down in the morning and Pippin doesn't run into the kitchen, I have to be reminded every single time, it's because Pippin is gone.
Yeah.
When you're friends with somebody and you don't live together, it is not the same. Your lives are not built around each other. You share things, but you don't share a life in the same way as a husband and as a partnership would.
Spouse. Yeah.
So it's fine. I'm going to move through this.
So he's like, let's just not talk about this. Maybe we can catch up with each other, which is what he was trying to do.
Right. Maybe we can get back to what I was talking about, but you seem to have misinterpreted because you had your own agenda that you didn't share with me, which was you wanted to talk about Anna.
Yeah.
You could have just said that. And she goes, okay, the discussion is
for
tabled.
her, it's not even about Anna. It's about him having a life partner.
No, she doesn't tell him what she wanted him to be talking about.
Right.
She just says, you've only talked about work.
Right.
She doesn't then express, you haven't found anyone
Right,
here.
and she hasn't said like, oh, what about this?
She didn't try to redirect the conversation. She
Right.
didn't try to.
She just moped. She just pouted until
because
he
she had an
figured it out.
agenda that she didn't share with him, which is she wanted to talk about Anna.
Yeah.
And maybe he's trying to show her that I'm trying to build a life.
Mm-hmm.
I've found a place that's really cool and I'm really excited about it. And maybe this is the first step in me learning to live a life without Anna. But she didn't let him get to that because she was mad at her fucking salad or something. It's fine. She goes, the discussion is tabled until later.
And then we get this really short clip of Lanier.
And he's like, soon.
He's like cleaning the cocoon.
Yes, because remember how goo coming out of it last
Soon.
time? He's like, soon.
Soon.
Soon now. Soon.
Doctor? And we get Sheridan walking into med lab.
It's so weird because he looks so nefarious while he's doing it too. He's like, they were like, Bill, can you wipe this goo up and don't make it weird? He was like, I can do one of those things. We really gloss over them using the machine too, because Sheridan shows up. Garibaldi's in the room. He's getting ready to hook him
it's
up.
really short.
And
they argue about who gets to be hooked up.
Yeah, Sheridan's like, cool, I'll hook up first. And Dr. Franklin's like, absolutely fucking not. I'm the one who's going to do this. I'm the one who proposed this. This is my game to lose. And Sheridan's like, okay, but what if you pass out? Won't it keep taking your life energy until you die? And Dr. Franklin's like, I actually don't know that. I have no idea. I don't know if that's how that works or not. And he's like, cool, then I'll use it. And if I pass out, you can unhook me. And Dr. Franklin's like, deal, but only if we swap off. And they argue about whose responsibility he is. He's my patient. Okay, well, I'm over you, so all of your patients are actually my responsibility too. You don't want to say that to Dr. Franklin.
Right.
He's like, I don't think losing my head of security 2 weeks into the job is going to look good on my resume. So then they end up making sure the configuration's correct and then splitting it. And that's it. And by the time we come back to Garibaldi, they're done. They don't even have they must not have wanted to do the glowing line thing again.
I'm imagining that Franklin took a turn, made sure all the settings were right, and did it for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever.
And it was like, cool, your turn.
And then Sheridan hooked up for like 20 minutes and then passed out.
Does it store life energy?
I don't think it holds on to it.
Because she implied in the episode that you can take life energy, Quality of Mercy, the episode. She said they would take life energy and then give it out to people on other planets that were dying of terminal diseases. So it kind of implies you can charge it up like a battery. So what if she didn't use all of the life energy that she took from, or that got taken from the psychopath guy?
Oh, yeah.
And so part of what they give Garibaldi is the stored life energy in the battery.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. And then we go to Jakar's room. And Mary Kay, not Natoth, walks in. And Jakar's like, shut the door. So she shuts the door and then he just goes, weep for the future, Natoth. Weep for us all.
As he's like lounging on his
I'm
bed.
not going to lie. Some mornings when I wake up, I feel like crawling over and being like, weep for the future.
Weep for the future, Natoth. Weep for us all.
And he's sitting on his bed, and the only thing I could think of is he banged 3 chicks on that rock. It is just a rock. It's all broken up, too. It's not a smooth rock. It's like
Right.
textured. Did it start out textured? I'm just saying. Remember when he was talking to Lita and he was like, we can do the mating conscious or unconscious. It just depends on what your pleasure threshold is. Just want to harken back to that. And she goes, are you all right? No, I would argue he is not. He
Right,
just
we-
told you to
we
weep
cut
for the
forward.
future. And he goes, I have looked into the darkness. You cannot do that and ever be quite the same again.
And this starts his deep dive on Jaquan.
Yeah, because Jaquan wrote about the shadows. So that's why he had a suspicion that this might be a new race or an old race, a very old race. Because Jaquan spoke of a great war long ago against an enemy so terrible, it nearly overwhelmed the stars themselves. And Jaquan even helpfully wrote about where they lived. Good on you, Jaquan. You really...
Yep.
And he goes, I searched for days going from one system to another, which means there were jump gates between the systems, which means each one of these rim systems has at least one jump gate, which maybe it just makes sense. Like you get out to the rim and you drop a jump gate.
Yeah, just like evenly spaced.
Yeah, because then if you ever wanted to go explore those systems, you could.
Right.
Otherwise, you have to travel all the way back out there again. But he says on dark, deserted worlds where there should be no life, where no living thing has walked in over 1,000 years, something is moving, gathering its forces quietly.
I searched for days, going from one system to another. Then, on dark, deserted worlds where there should be no life, where no living thing has walked in over 1,000 years, something is moving, gathering its forces quietly, hoping to go unnoticed. We must warn the others, Netov. After 1,000 years, the darkness has come again.
And I was like, that's so cool. It's such a good image. These like the idea of a dead planet, not just uninhabited, but like used to be inhabited and now is just empty and has been empty for a living memory of all the races that are currently spacefaring. And now it's coming to life again. And nobody went out there. It's like whatever used to live there is back. That must be, that would be terrifying. Like terrifying, but also intriguing.
I'm thinking about the fact that the Narn culture has maintained a record of this.
Yeah.
But nobody else has. And they've all been, like the Minbari and the Centauri have been around for more than 1,000 years.
Right. Oh, the Minbari know. The Minbari know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe the Centauri were not a spacefaring race 1,000 years ago.
The Centauri, he didn't talk about that, but he did talk about the Narn because people are like, how come the Narn know? How come Jaquan knew?
Right.
And he was saying that there's 2 ways you can encounter the shadows. Either you go to them or they happen upon you.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that when they last were active, the Narn were not a spacefaring race.
Okay.
But they used the Narn homeworld as like a base of operations.
Okay.
And so they were able to record and gather evidence of the shadow's existence.
And I was thinking the shadow have probably gone through and removed records of themselves from the civilizations that they can. But Jaquan recording it in ostensibly religious texts would have made these records more valuable, less mutable, less changeable over time.
Well, who would think to look in religious texts?
Right, for a non-spacefaring race.
Right, and you can easily delete digital data.
Exactly.
But to
having
remove
this
a reference...
especially having this be something that could have been an oral history.
I was going to say, but to change a religious text, you'd need And then I thought about all the times that the Bible has been
Oh.
revised. So kind of it'd be like, 1,000 years ago on Earth here when you had like the Middle Ages and I think he has a little drawing in the Jaquan book. I think we see it eventually of a little shadow ship.
Yeah.
And then however you would describe a creature like the shadows if you had no language for starship or whatever.
Right.
So it probably remained vague enough that they didn't.
Right. They had not realized, the shadow didn't realize that the Narn had records. Another thing that could have made it harder for the shadows to...
He called them shadowmen all the time in the forum posts.
Okay.
But I think just shadows is the preferred nomenclature.
Okay. Another thing that could have made it harder for the shadows to scrub records of themselves from the Narn histories would have been the Centauri occupation.
Yeah.
And so these books may have been stashed away for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And so even the Narn weren't aware of the contents until after their liberation.
Yeah. It's possible the Centauri were not spacefaring either.
Yeah, right. So the Centauri didn't know.
Or at least couldn't leave their star system.
So they didn't have any records.
So unless the shadow came upon them, they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know a lot about the Great War that came before yet, but we will learn about it eventually. And he has a whole rest of his quote here, which I'll just stick the whole quote in. So you've already heard it. And then we switch to Delenn, and the only thing I put in my notes is swamp Delenn. And I'll be honest, I don't remember what that meant.
Oh, I put in cocoon cracks.
Oh, okay. I think it's just because, it was moist.
Yeah.
It looked really moist in her room, and it was, cracking open, and I just wrote swamp Delenn. And then we go to Garibaldi, because Garibaldi's woken up. And he literally goes, "What's up, Doc?"
Which is very Garibaldi line.
And not to be all 1994 about it, but it looks like Jerry Doyle has actually lost some weight. He looked a lot trimmer.
He's been in a coma.
I know, and it fits.
Yeah.
It fits, right? And apparently people got mad because they thought that they had changed the Jakar makeup. They changed the Londo makeup. We didn't talk about that, but his crest is much more... It looks like a hairpiece now instead of... They just spiked up.
Peter's hair.
Yeah, Peter's hair. Which I'm pretty sure it was a hairpiece before, but it's a better hairpiece now. And it's a little shorter. It's a little bit more neat. And so they were mad or felt that they had changed Jakar's makeup. And J. Michael Straczynski was like, no. Andreas gained some weight over the break. And so it just fits his face a little bit differently. But he lost it pretty quick. He goes, "Who doesn't gain weight over a break?"
Yeah.
So, no, he's fine. It's the same makeup. Jakar does not change. Londo does. And Dr. Franklin immediately calls Ivanova. And Ivanova's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And he's like, "Hey, the captain is awake. You need to come down." Like the Garibaldi.
Garibaldi's awake.
Yeah, get the captain. Sorry. Mr. Garibaldi, who has no title, as we have established many times, is awake. And she's like, "Cool, on our way." And this is all being overheard by Jack.
Right.
And apparently we say Jack's name one time.
Mm-hmm.
It's mentioned extremely briefly, really easy to miss. JMS actually talked about it. He was like, "Yeah, this guy's name is Jack. I threw it in there. It's really easy to miss. Don't worry about it." And so they come in to talk to Garibaldi. I got to turn the page.
Yeah, so he tries to find out, did it work? Did I stop the assassination?
No, he wakes up and he's like, I can't talk about this right now. They're going to kill the president. And they're like,
Right.
"Oh, yeah, no, they already did that.
Yeah.
The president's already dead." And Earth Dome is saying it's an accident. And he's like, "Oh, okay, great. I need to see the commander." And they're like, "Yeah, so also he's not here. He's been reassigned." And Garibaldi's like, "What?" He goes, "I'm out for a few days and the whole place goes to hell."
Okay, I made a note. Who has been shaving Garibaldi?
Maybe he had his facial hair surgically removed.
Oh, he's still got the shadow.
Does he have a 5 o'clock shadow?
I mean, you can tell where the hair would be growing.
It grows slower in his face.
But he just looks very clean shaven. So somebody's been shaving him
It's like how does Superman shave?
with a mirror.
With a mirror. So they just,
I saw something about the new Fantastic Four movie,
yeah.
and apparently the Thing has to shave.
Oh, no.
He has like a rock beard that he has to shave.
How awful.
So someone made a song about, does he have pubes?
Really asking the hard-hitting questions around here. I don't
Anyway.
know. Whoever cleaned him up also shaved him, okay? Maybe it's part and parcel of the sort of treatment you get at MedBay. Med Lab.
Hold on. The other half of my note. And why does Dr. Franklin have a jar of beard shavings?
You know, it's funny. When I was getting ready to go to school, college, I was going to go for art. And so I ended up going to a bunch and talking to art teachers and going on a tour of some different colleges. And I met this one, and it was a couple. And they were like, do you want to see the kind of art we make? And I was like, sure. And it was all these. Okay, so they both believed that you had to save all of your hair and toenail clippings so that the witches would not get them. And so they each had jars and jars of their fingernail and hair clippings, and they had poured them out on a scanner and scanned them and put them into a digital art program, which at the time was CS2 because I'm old as fuck, and had like made art by clipping out sections of their scanned toenails and hair. And I don't think about that often, but I think about it sometimes.
If you believe that the witches can use your hair and toenail clippings for
whatever. The witches. Honey, are you trying to find reason in this right now?
Hold on. I would expect that to extrapolate out to. My thought was, what about the techno witches? What if they get a copy of the digital scan? And I guess that depends on whether you also believe that taking a picture captures a piece of your soul.
Oh, yeah. Or the essence of the thing.
Yeah.
Is a piece of the thing captured in the image or not?
Right.
Well, I really don't think that there's an answer to that question. So let's go back to how would it feel to be Garibaldi? You know, I sympathize with Garibaldi because I think sometimes I feel like if I ever for once lose my vigilance, everything will fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been times in my life where that was probably true. And he literally feels like he's holding Babylon 5 together. And then he goes into a coma for 3 weeks. And when he wakes up, the president of Earth is dead. And the commander of Babylon 5 has been permanently reassigned to a planet where no human has ever lived full-time ever before. So that has to feel like justification.
And one of the ambassadors is in a cocoon.
Yeah, one of the ambassadors in the... Well, it's... Yeah. And one was missing but is now back.
Yeah.
So everything did kind of fall apart. So he's correct. And Sheridan goes, I mean, I can prove that it didn't fall apart. I can prove that everything didn't go to hell. I'm Captain Sheridan, your new CO. And Garibaldi just looks at him.
I don't know you.
I don't know you.
Captain John Sheridan, your new CO.
I don't know you.
Nice first impression, Garibaldi. Who the fuck are you? Why are you talking to me?
Which, to be fair, would be the kind of thing you would want your chief of security to say when they meet a new authority figure.
Yeah, it'd be like, you don't know me, I don't know you.
Where does your authority come from?
Yeah. and he just goes, I think we'll get along just fine.
We see Jack in the background standing by the door.
Right.
During this whole conversation.
Yeah, because they're like, do you know what happened? And he's like, I keep trying, but I got shot from behind, so like I didn't see. And then he puts his gun back away. Was he gonna fucking kill everybody?
Oh, he was ready to shoot. He was gonna kill the commander, the captain, I guess, lieutenant commander.
Yeah.
The chief of security, and the head medical officer.
He was going to decapitate Babylon 5 because everyone who runs Babylon 5 is in this room right now.
This feels like there should be a rule against having all 4 of these people in the same room at the same time.
Like the designated survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My problem with this is later when we do capture him,
Mm-hmm.
he's never for once scared because he knows full well he's just going to get out. He's going to get out. So why was he ever... He's far more likely to get out of shooting Garibaldi than he is of shooting Garibaldi, shooting John Sheridan, shooting Ivanova, shooting Stephen Franklin, and then attempting to flee the station.
Right.
And everyone else in the room because there's like people bumbling around doing shit. We'd either have to murder everyone in the room and then pretend he didn't know who did it, which I guess he could technically do, or face the consequences for murdering that many people.
Right.
I mean, they kind of are capable of getting him extradited to Earth and then disappeared along the way because he attempted to kill Garibaldi but didn't succeed.
Right.
And as we all know, victims get punished for surviving.
Yeah.
Because the punishment for attempted murder is far less than actual murder, even though they were trying to kill you. It should
they did their best.
It should be the same, but that's an entirely other thing. So then we come back, and it's Jakar talking to the council, and they're like, Ambassador Jakar, are you back from your little expedition?
I thought this was Londo and Jakar running to each other in the hallway.
Oh, is that what this is? I didn't make a note. So Londo and Jakar run into each other in the hallway. And Londo's like, "Oh, Jakar, God, you're back. That's great. Did you find anything interesting?" And he's like, yeah, I'm going to call a meeting of the council to discuss it." And then he goes, "Malari, the grievances between my people and yours will never be resolved except with Centauri blood. Just accept that as a given. We're not friends, and this isn't going to make us friends. Just bear that in mind." And Londo goes, "Well, it's great to be appreciated, I guess." And Jakar goes, "Okay, but there are some dangers that are so great that we need to work together. But we're not working together because I like you. We're working together because the enemy
Purely
of my
out
enemy
of
is my
necessity."
friend." Yeah. He goes, "There are some dangers that threaten both our peoples, not to mention the Minbari, the Earthers, the League, and everyone else, except possibly the Vorlons, because I don't really know what could threaten them, really."
Right.
And he goes, "We're going to need your help in the interest of all of our governments." And Londo's like, My help? My help? This is astonishing. Have you spoken to the others?" And he's like, "No, actually, I was on my way to talk to Delenn." And Londo goes, "Well, you might find that, like a little bit challenging. Because after you left, we discovered something had happened to her."
Something.
And Jakar's like, "Oh my God, is she still alive?" And
That's
Londo
a
does
very
not
good
help.
question.
He does not help. He goes, "That's a very good question."
Lanier won't let us examine her.
I know. Linear peed around the whole door.
And he growls at us when we get too close. And then we jump to
Delenn.
Delenn saying, "Help me."
Right, because Lanier walks in. This is my favorite part, because Lanier walks in and the whole cocoon is broken open and he doesn't look around or anything. He just walks over to the cocoon and is like,
Maybe
"Delenn?"
he thinks she got really small.
He's like, "Delenn, you're not in there. Are you in there?" And he leans down and like picks a piece up like, "Hello, Delenn. Are you in there?" We even get the like snake rattle sound effect. They're like, I was like, oh no. There's a whole class of these like late 90s, early 2000s sound effects that just drive me up the wall. This is one of them. And then
Because they got overused.
the like sound, I can't even make it. But you know what I mean. The like magic sound from the 90s. They drive me crazy. And then he turns around because Delenn has somewhere gotten like a full body robe and she's laying on the couch and she's like, "Eh." And so he calls Dr. Franklin and he's like, "Hey, can you come like right now?" And Dr. Franklin's like, I just woke Garibaldi up. I'm kind of in the middle of things." And he's like, no, this is urgent. I think something might be wrong with the ambassador. And I want to point out that when Dr. Franklin answers the telephone screen.
Mm-hmm.
It does not have the Babcom logo from the season 1. It has a brand new logo. Apparently, JMS didn't like the last logo, so he just scrapped it and started new and just didn't say anything. He was
Software update.
Yeah, it's fine. They got a better logo.
It completely works today, but at the time, that would have been such a big change.
Yeah. No one would have maybe noticed.
Screen.
I don't know. He addressed it. He was like, no, it's gone. I hate the old Babcom logo. I killed it. It's gone. Oh, okay. Kind of like when Instagram went from the little picture to whatever it is now. Remember, it used to be a little camera and now it's just
still
like
a stylized camera.
Yeah. But it used to be like a camera, like a Polaroid.
Right. Yeah, it used to be like a old
like a
film
brownie
camera.
kind of camera.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Franklin shows up, and before he walks in, Lanier's like, hold. Before you come in here, I got to insist that anything you learn here in the next few minutes are like hush, confidential. We're not going to talk about it. And Dr. Franklin's like, I mean, yeah, you have my word, but if she's that sick, then don't you just want to call some Minbari doctors? And she goes, I'm not ill, doctor. What I have become, what I suffer, requires you alone. And I got so distracted because I'm pretty sure the little craggy blue hand is just a prop hand, which means Delenn is in there with a stick. Because when he actually holds her hand, it's different. But when he's like, or maybe her hand was so stiff she couldn't move it, but it looks like a little prop hand.
Yes, yeah, when the hand comes out of the sleeve.
And like lifts up.
I think it is her hand, but it's like encased in plaster for the scale effect.
Yeah.
And so she can't move it or it'll crack it.
Yeah. Although there's a very obvious patch on it that Dr. Franklin crunches.
Yeah.
It's like sitting on top of the rest of her makeup.
Oh no, is it supposed to do that?
And I would like to address the fact that they call Dr. Franklin as if it's urgent. He runs over there. We don't talk about what he does to fix her.
Because it's confidential.
What does it? It's so confidential. We didn't even show it on television. We don't know because the next time we see, there's one more scene with Delenn and Dr. Franklin, and it's the one where he crunches her skin, and she's like, "What have I become?" Okay, all right. And then she shows up, and she's like, "I have become a hot chick," and she just
it's probably anticlimactic because this was just a protective layer while she changed, and it's going to flake off.
Yeah, we don't.
And so Dr. Franklin's like, all your vital signs are good for a human.
Well, he crunches the thing, and then he goes, "The fuck is this shit?" And Lanier goes, and that's it.
That's why it requires him, because he's the guy who deals with weird alien shit.
He's the guy who's willing to be like, "What is that?" Boop, and poke it. It's like if you had a boil or something and he's like, "What?" Let me get that for you. It's fine. We'll come back to it because we get one more scene with him and her. But like, I want to point out that we don't actually talk about what he does to fix. Did he peel her?
Probably.
Did he tell her to take a shower? He was like, I think this is just buildup. Maybe you should just take a shower. She's like, oh shit, you're right. Which we find out later, Minbari don't shower, so
right.
They secrete like a fluid.
Yeah, that they scrape off.
And then they scrape it off, which is one of my favorite scenes because her hair is dried out. And she has to ask Ivanova for help because she's like, this hair refuses to cooperate, which is great that he included the fact that she's not fucking take care of hair. She doesn't have hair. Oh, and he talked about her hair. Why it appears to go under the bone crest.
Okay.
And he said her head changed size, but her bone crest remained the same. So there is now a gap between the bone crest and her hair.
That's the only way it would work.
And so she can thread the hair through the bone crest or she can drape it over top.
Okay.
Whichever, which means she has to like take a thing and clean underneath the...
Oh, did she have one of those like straw brushes?
Yeah.
Like a pipe cleaner?
And run it.
Hold on. She has to thread it through, and then she has to floss the entire bone
Do like
crest.
the back cleaner where you have the like you do the back thing back and forth, but like underneath of her. It's fine. We're going too far. It's too far. And this is when we come back to him talking to his sister again. Sheridan talking to his sister again. It's fine. This is when he reveals that what he's really broken up about. I mean, he doesn't like that she died.
He feels guilty.
He also
feels
thinks
responsible.
that she took, because we find out she died when a deep space explorer vessel exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And he believes that she only took the position on that ship because he canceled a date that they had where they were going to take a vacation together, and they hadn't seen each other a lot that year, so it was going to be one of their first times together. And he just got caught up doing shit, and he wasn't going to make it, and so he canceled, and he forgot to say he loved her. And so he believes she took this appointment on this deep space vessel, and she died. And his sister's like, well, you had nothing to do with that. And he's like, no, I did, though. I did, because I did all of this stuff, and I must have disappointed her enough that she took off. And his sister is like, no, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it at all. And he's like, yeah, she said it was going to be a 2-week survey on the Icarus.
Which is an ominous name.
Ominous as shit. I love his little...
You don't get on a ship named the Icarus.
Especially not if you're going to fly too close to the sun. Yeah. Who names it after the... Oh, okay. Icarus is a cool name, but also not a cool... you don't want to be Icarus in the Icarus story. Doesn't he die?
Unless it's the ambition.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the...
Well, I saw a thing about Icarus recently. It said everyone talks about Icarus, the risk of Icarus flying too close to the sun, melting the wax. It said, but Icarus also had to be careful not to fly too low, or the wax would get hard and brittle and break, and Icarus would still fall into the ocean. And why don't we have a, proverbial story about, instead of saying, be careful you don't fly too close to the sun, because like Icarus, you will die.
Yeah.
Instead, have a cautionary tale. Be careful you don't keep too low profile and stagnate like Icarus.
Yeah.
And fall into the ocean because you got too brittle.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like every fourth podcast when you tell me one must imagine Sisyphus happy. Like that. He does get a really cool line here where he says, it was just a 2-week survey. She said she'd be back before I even noticed she was gone. Well, she didn't come back, and I've been noticing she's gone every minute of every day.
She lied to me.
And I was like, that's a good line. And his sister's like, well, you can't blame yourself. And he's like, yeah, I really fucking can. I really can. And then he goes, I didn't say I loved
evidence.
her. The last time I talked to her, I don't know. I was rushed. I didn't even say it. I didn't even realize I hadn't said it. I figured I'd make it up to her later on.
Mm-hmm.
I never even got to say goodbye to her, and I miss her, and I just want to tell her I love her one last time. And his sister's like, great, I'll see you later. And she fucking leaves. She does not in that moment be like, you know
Tell
what?
him.
I have a thing that I think you should watch. And I'm going to get it for
Right.
you. And then you can call me if you need me later, but I just want you to watch it. It's one of the last things she sent to me. And she doesn't even give him the entire letter. She just gives him the part where she talks about John.
Right.
That's some bullshit. Unless the rest of it was like, oh, also I didn't want to go because, oh, can I talk about Jeremy? Oh my God, he's so hot. And she was like, I'm just going to clip out the end here. And this is when we come back to Dr. Franklin and Delenn.
And
he's
he
like,
crunches.
And he's
Is
like,
this supposed to do that?
starts peeling it off. She's screaming. That's fine. That's part of the process. Just let it happen. She goes, what am I? What am I? We go from that to her fine in 30 minutes. He must have been like, honestly, this just
Dr.
looks
Franklin is really good at
he's
what he
just
does.
so good at his job. So good. And then we come to Jakar, and Jakar is talking to the council at this point, I think. And he's like, this is what led me to believe that the ancient race described in our holy books may have returned. And I'm not arguing with the way he goes about this necessarily, but also I think this is the evil ancient race that is written about in the Bible. Doesn't feel like it would fly as well as I have records from Narn.
Historical texts.
Historical texts from Narn describing this race, and it fits with what's currently happening. So I think if they come back, we're all in danger. So I just went ahead and sent an expeditionary force to the planet where they used to live to see if it's inhabited again.
Yeah.
That's a better sell than, well, Jaquan says, which I respect Jakar's
Commitment
to his beliefs. You don't think of him as a religious character because he's so warmongering.
Right.
But you have to wonder if he had been more understanding and diplomatic in the past, would everyone have been a little bit more receptive of what he was saying? Because now he's like, we're going to have to cooperate, where for the last year to 2 years, he's been like, Narns, bitches, fuck you, fuck everybody but the Narn. And then he's like, well, actually, maybe we could get together and make this happen.
Is the Narn home planet named Narnia?
You know what's funny is halfway through that sentence, I was like, he's going for Narnia. I knew it. And then you did not disappoint me. No, it's just the Narn homeworld.
I was trying to think of something like Make Narnia Great Again.
They are the Narn. They're from Narn. Everybody else gets like, well, the Centauri are from Centauri Prime.
I wonder if the name of the Narn homeworld is difficult for humans to pronounce.
Well, it's whatever common language they've all established, because we're all speaking English.
Mm-hmm.
So either they all have like translator microbes like in Farscape, or they have embedded translators like in Star Trek, or they are all speaking a common language, which means they would have to have a commonly agreed upon nomenclature, which apparently is English. I don't know. I think I want it to be Narnia, but I think it's just Narn, or the Narn homeworld. Because Centauri is Centauri Prime. Minbari are from Minbar. It's fine. Is it the most... You know what? They call Earth or people from Earth Earthers. So it's not like...
Yeah.
Or... And then Marsies for Mars. It's fine. You've raised an interesting question. We don't ever really talk about any race that's name is not also the name of its planet. Not that you know what? We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
How about that? He's like, if this is true, we're all in danger. So we're going to go make sure of it. He said the configuration of the ships that fired on us were too similar to the drawings made by Jaquan.
That is a valuable piece of evidence.
Yeah. Does he not have pictures from when he was attacked?
He probably has some video.
Yeah.
Or maybe the guy who was recording video.
He's one of the ones that got blown up.
The one that...
Remember my name. I'd rather you transmit your data.
Kamikaze.
Yeah, because he ends up having nothing to prove it.
Right.
But he could have just hit record on, it's fine. It's fine. Londo's like, why have we heard nothing official from the Narn homeworld confirming this? Like, you feel a little rogue right now. And he's like, well, the Kari have, we're not all on the same page. He's like, then we're back where we started. We need proof. And he's like, I'm prepared to give you that proof, despite the misgivings of a few of the inner circle of my government. I sent a ship out there. He's like, there's a planet located at the rim of known space. A dark and terrible place known as Zahadum. Welcome, Zahadum. We're going to talk about Zahadum so much.
Later.
Oh, just ad nauseum, honestly, because it's the home world of the shadows.
Yeah.
And it's going to take them 12 hours in hyperspace to get out there. And they're going to come out as close to the enemy's homeworld as possible, scan the planet, and then fuck back off into hyperspace before anyone can attack. And they're like, okay, so if someone's living there, then all of our races stand on the edge of extinction.
Bum, bum, bum.
Ugh. And then Londo's like, oh, okay.
I need to go tell Morden about this.
I got to go to the bathroom. Then he comes up. Morden's like, you want to see me? And he's like, yeah, you said I should tell you about anything unusual happening on the rim. The Narns have sent a military ship to investigate the world called Zahadum. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like this is the moment where Londo chooses his path.
Yeah.
Because he didn't believe that Morden was going to do anything about Quadrant 37.
Right. That was a surprise to him.
That was a surprise.
And he was sufficiently horrified. But by sharing information with Morden, he's on purpose complicit.
Yeah. He was like, okay, all right, I will repay that favor because I'm hoping I get more favors in the future. And Morden's like, oh, shit. And Londo's like, oh, you know it? I see you know it. And he's like, oh, just only in passing. Do you by any chance know when the ship is scheduled to arrive? And Londo even tells him that. He's like, yeah, like 10 hours.
So he waited a couple hours.
Yeah. And this reminded me of, I started playing Baldur's Gate 3. You know why. But one of the most interesting things about it is, yes, there's some combat and other stuff, but a lot of it is talking. You can talk your way through any situation. You don't actually have to attack anybody for the most part. And this feels like you as Londo, the playable character, get information, and you can either choose not to tell Morden or tell Morden. And if you tell Morden, it opens up a whole series of events that you don't have access to otherwise.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that a Babylon 5 role-playing game would be really fun.
Yeah.
Especially during like the Shadow War.
That's kind of how Mass Effect was.
Yeah.
Where there was a lot of conversation-driven plot.
Right.
Where you could open or close plot branches.
Okay, so let's see. Sheridan is a paladin. Obviously. Ivanova is a ranger. I'm going to argue ranger.
Yeah.
Dr. Franklin is, what's the cleric that's sworn to like a demon? It's not.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Franklin's a warlock.
Yeah, Dr. Franklin's a warlock.
Sinclair is a cleric.
Yeah, Garibaldi's a barbarian. No. Is he a rogue? Is Garibaldi a rogue?
Yeah, there are lots of rogue variants, so he could be like a...
I think he's a true neutral rogue because he'll do whatever subterfuge it takes to serve what he believes is the best interest, whether it's lawful or not.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is there? Ivanova, Sheridan, Garibaldi, Dr. Franklin. Oh, we have the ambassadors. So Londo is a bard?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Londo's a bard. Jakar he's not a barbarian. He's maybe a fighter. Because he's not just hack and slash. He's more of a...
More strategic.
Yeah, you know what? I would say he's more of a cleric. Because he can use martial weapons, but he's also religious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, which would make Delenn a sorcerer. Possibly also a monk. Lanier's a monk.
So we have sorcerer and wizard.
Yeah.
Oh, Jakar's a monk.
Oh, yeah.
Because he can fight, but he also has the whole...
religious aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then sorcerer and wizard.
I would say Delenn is more of a sorcerer because she's more of the moment. She's
right.
She doesn't necessarily
and Lanier,
prepare.
with his mathematics background.
More of a wizard.
Yeah.
All right. Good. We have everybody classed. Excellent.
And Talia is a psionic.
Yes. She has psionic abilities. So maybe she's like a gnome. What are the God.
Well, there's a whole extension for psionics.
Oy. Well, we haven't done as much of that, but
yeah.
I think
I
base
played one
classes,
game where there were psionics.
Yeah. We didn't make anybody a druid. I don't think we have any real druids. Nobody that's like, I'm connected to nature. If anybody's a druid, it's Delenn.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because she shapeshifts.
Correct. She polymorphed. So then,
Wild shape. She shape changed into a beast.
a human beast?
From the Minbari perspective.
Yes, correct. She did. Yeah. A horrible amalgamation of both. So then we come back to Lou Welch bringing Talia to Garibaldi, which Lou must have just shown up and been like, "Oh, Mr. Garibaldi wants you." And Talia was probably like, "Oh, the minute he woke up, huh?" Just like as soon as he opened his eyes, "Where's Talia?" And so he takes her to Garibaldi because Garibaldi wants her to help him remember what happened.
Right.
And she's like, "Even if I do find anything, it's
Just
not going to
jog
be
his
admissible
memory."
in court." And he's like, "I fucking know it's not going to be admissible in court, but I got to find out who did this to me. And if there's anything in my memory, anything that I missed or forgot, you can find it." And he's like, no, Talia says, "You may be placing too much faith in my abilities, but I'll give it a shot." And I want to point out that her breakup bangs have grown out.
Mm-hmm.
Her hair's grown out in general. Breakup bangs have definitely grown out, which means she must have gotten them towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Which it's interesting that she did something that can be like timed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the skanky sideburn
Skanky
index.
sideburns, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she goes, "Given your condition, this will have to be a deep scan." He's like,
Given your condition.
just like I like it.
I wonder what she means by his condition.
A stubborn asshole? I don't know.
Yeah, because medically, I think at this point he's okay. Like, he's physically weak,
Yeah.
but he's lucid.
Yeah.
So it must just be like, because you're a stubborn asshole.
Yeah, you've been diagnosed, jackass. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Your condition as a police officer. We will have to do a deep scan. It may cause some discomfort. And he's like, "I don't give a shit. Let's do this." And then we get the clip, but he sees in the convenient mirror that somebody
A
tacked
very
onto the wall
conveniently placed mirror.
that there's a guy behind him. You know, some poor person in some poor, as in I pity them, not poor as in financially poor person in brown, whatever. That's like their shaving mirror and they just leave it. Like you have that
Magnetic mirror.
magnetic mirror.
Yeah.
And they just conveniently left it there because then he sees Jack behind him. And then we come back out and somebody pokes their head into where Jack is hanging out and they're like, "Come on, you gotta come see this." And he's like, "No, I don't." And they're like, "Ambassador Delenn came out of that weird cocoon and she's got wings and shit."
In my mind, that pitch was 100% Garibaldi.
He was like,
Like,
"Just
okay,
tell him."
you guys need to get Jack to come out of the room.
Yeah.
Tell him Delenn's got butterfly wings.
He'll fucking love that.
That'll totally get him.
And he walks out of the room and they punch him in the fucking face.
Lou does?
Lou.
Wearing riot gear?
Yeah, Lou's like, "Go ahead, make my solar year." Oh, we use
That was for the chief.
We use several measurements of time in this episode. And none of them are cycle. Yep. Yeah, that was for the chief. And then Sheridan pops up. He's like, all right. Don't go too hard. And he's like, "He's all yours, sir, unless you want to walk around the block a few times." And Sheridan's like, "Wow, buddy, I really just appreciate that enthusiasm. But that will not be necessary." He goes, "Put him in lockup, maximum security. I want checks every quarter hour, not every quarter cycle." And they're like, "All right, aye, Captain." And I wrote in my notes, "Yes, because no one has ever escaped from the brig before under mysterious circumstances." In fact, it's implied that Jack did several of the previous jailbreaks.
Yeah.
Where people got out and shouldn't have gotten out.
Yep.
And this is when Garibaldi gets up. He's getting up, and Dr. Franklin's like, whoa, where are you going? You are in no condition. And they're like, Garibaldi goes, "Yeah, but they caught the guy who shot me." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, they caught him."
I have a condition, actually. Talia said so.
"I'm so tough, I needed a deep scan." He's like, that's not a compliment. "I'm so dense, you really have to dig in there to get to the thoughts." And he's like, "I want to go see him now." And Dr. Fellington goes, "No, you can go see him later." And then Garibaldi must just go because He ends up showing up
Because he's a stubborn asshole.
with his cane. And he's like, I trusted you. I taught you everything I knew. I gave you every break, and I treated you like my own brother. That's why I kind of know your name. Like I said it the other day. He's like, why did you do it? And this is such an interesting scene because of like the extreme lighting and all the close-ups that they're doing is very disorienting, especially on Jack. It makes him look very monstrous.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I had my instructions. And Garibaldi's like, from who? And Jack's like, the new order back home, Garibaldi. You can either be a part of it or you can be stepped on because there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. And I'm on the side that's going to win.
I'm on the side wearing the boots.
Yep. And he's like, oh, Home Guard? And he's like, psh, no, Home Guard are a bunch of misfits. You really don't know, do you, Garibaldi?
Ha ha.
Them's fighting words. You want to hurt Garibaldi? Be like, ooh.
You want to get Garibaldi riled up.
Yeah.
You mock him for not knowing a thing.
Yeah.
Now he's going to learn everything he possibly can, and you're going to regret it.
Yeah. Because he's like, ooh, you really don't have a clue, do you? Garibaldi's like you can like see steam come out of his ears.
It's like when people ask me about like my career history, I say, oh yeah, like I kind of flunked out of grad school, and then I went to work at in retail for a little while.
Yeah.
And right before I left to go back to grad school, one of the department managers, the next department over, we were just talking, and he asked me like what I was gonna do like life wise, and I said, oh, I'm gonna, I had a problem with grad school before, but I'm gonna go back to grad school, and like blah blah blah, and he's like, you're never gonna do it. And then, like 3 months later, I was enrolled in grad school.
Fuck you. You don't know me.
I'll show you.
Garibaldi goes, if I were you, I'd talk straight because right now you're in a world of trouble. And Jack goes, you don't even know what trouble is, but you're going to find out real soon. And Garibaldi's like, okay, yeah, well, I'm worrying about that. How about we talk about what the penalty for shooting a senior officer is because it's considered treason and mutiny, and they're going to fucking space your ass. Your eyeballs are going to freeze. Your heart explodes. It's the worst death you can possibly imagine. And when that day comes, I'm going to push the fucking button. And then he goes to leave. And Jack does the, hey, Garibaldi, be seeing you.
Hey, Garibaldi. Be seeing you.
And it's the same gesture and statement that Bester makes back in season 1. And Garibaldi clocks it immediately. He's like, oh my God. The Psi Corps.
It's the Psi Corps.
Yeah. And then we get Captain Sheridan getting a call from the president.
Well, Ivanova pops up on the screen, which I thought was interesting.
He goes, I know, the council meeting.
Instead of using the hand communicator.
Right. Well, he's in his office.
Right.
So, and she's getting ready to patch something through. So, and he's like, I'm trying to finish up and then I'm going to be at the council meeting. And she's like, oh, no, it's the president. He's on Gold Channel. He wants to speak to you. Unless you'd like me to have him call back later. And he goes, Ivanova?
Which I really like.
I love their
how much
camaraderie.
chemistry they already have.
I'm glad they included that because he gets so much animosity from everyone else. Well, from Garibaldi specifically. Because Garibaldi had such a tight relationship with Sinclair, he doesn't appreciate Sheridan for a long time.
And now we get the leader of the station has a close relationship with Ivanova instead of with Garibaldi.
Right. And I'm glad because it gives us contrast.
Yeah.
If everybody had just been like, fuck Sheridan, it would be, kind of boring. It'd be redundant.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we have one, especially when he's like, Ivanova, and she's like, yes, sir, stand by. And she does this little smile like,
I love the banter. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is when the president calls to tell Captain Sheridan that they will be taking over the prisoner because if he really is involved in a conspiracy to assassinate his predecessor, then they really want to make sure that they do everything and investigate it fully to really honor the memory of the past president. He goes, I want you to put him on the first prison shuttle to Earth, which implies there are more. There's like regular prison shuttles.
It's also kind of just a saying.
Like get him on a prison shuttle and send him back. Are there specific shuttles that are just prison shuttles?
There's probably ones that have secure holding rooms.
And I was like, how many of those do they have? And he's like, I'm not sure I understand, sir. And this is for the filming. He turns his back on the president.
Mm-hmm.
This is so you can see both of their faces in the same shot at the same time. But if the president can see him, that's a really weird gesture to make.
Right. Where is the camera?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it in the screen? Because they go over and stand and look at the screen. But Sinclair would also meander about the room.
Right. I think there's at least 2 screens like high up in the wall in the office.
Well, they have the little floating cameras. So maybe there's just a floating camera. But if there's only one camera, that's a weird gesture.
I think Sheridan is looking at the wall opposite of his desk at the screen there. But there's also another screen so that we can have the shot with both of their faces in it.
It's just odd. It's one of those moments where if you think about it too hard, it starts to get a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. And the president continues. He's like, oh, yeah, and while you're sticking him on the first shuttle, why don't you go ahead and put all the transcripts, all the video, and all the background material that you have with him. Just stick it all on there.
So I have it all at my fingertips.
Yeah, go ahead. Just put it in a cardboard box. Stick it right there. Good job, dude. You're going to do it, right? And Sheridan's like, yeah.
Yes,
sure.
yes. I will send copies of all the evidence we have.
He just sends it.
Tisk, tisk,
Well,
tisk.
the idea is you're trusting the president.
Right.
Why would you back up data?
Well, I'm sure they have copies of the digital data, but there may be hard copies of things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The president just goes, you're a good man. And Sheridan goes, thank you. Good work on this to you and your chief of security. And I thought, wow, this really required the president, and they didn't expect Sheridan to be suspicious about this at all. He goes, I'll keep you informed of anything we find. Earth Dome out. And then he hangs up. And then we go to the Narn ship that is traveling to Zahadum. And there's clearly one guy on one side that they have mirrored.
Inside the Narn ship.
Yeah, so that there's one guy on one side and then the same guy
mirrored on the opposite
on the other side. And then there's one dude in the middle. And then they zoom in on the one guy, and it's not even the guy from the footage at the beginning. It's fine. He's like, we're going to initiate a jump point into normal space. And then as soon as they come out, there's a shadow ship waiting. And they're like, oh my God, go back, go back.
They say, pull back, pull back. Can you go backwards?
I know. If you're not all the way out, can you just go right back through the hole? How quickly does the hole close?
So one of the things we see about jump gates is they're a different color when you're going into hyperspace
and
versus
then when you're
coming
coming
out.
Yeah. They're one way.
Which, yeah, I feel like in my head, the mechanism is you're creating a 3-dimensional hole, like in Interstellar, the way they make it like a spherical hole. And you go in, but it's like pulling you.
Yeah. And so would it be pushing you if you're
Which
going
is
out?
why the colors are different.
Right.
But if it's two-way anytime, then
The colors would always be the same.
right. Anyway.
Yeah. They can't. I think pull back just in like take evasive maneuvers.
Right.
Yeah. Which we just bought a really old 90s car. And I was thinking about this the other day because I remember driving a car, a really shitty old car, my first car.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really wanted to pass somebody, you turned your air conditioner off. And so I saw somebody make a reel where they like divert all power to the thrusters and they turned off their air conditioner. And I can't not think it every time I turn the AC off. So they're just like divert all power to the thrusters, take evasive maneuvers, whatever. And then we come back to Jakar and it's basically a transmission saying like, I'm really sorry, but The ship we sent to Zahadum has been destroyed.
It blew up
They're
as it was
reporting
coming out of hyperspace.
it's an accident with the jump engines. Wouldn't you want to go recover the wreckage
and confirm that.
and confirm that? Because if there's a problem with the jump engines that caused it to blow up, don't you want to know what that was?
Right.
So it doesn't happen again?
Unless the shadows faked a signal.
That tells
Back.
exactly what went wrong. But then they would need to know about Narn technology. They would need to know enough about Narn technology to fake a signal so it looked authentic.
I bet they could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. They're like, since it happened just as they left hyperspace, and we're not going to send another ship because we can't afford to. And Jakar, in a moment of disclosure that I would not have expected from him, is like, well, when one of our warships jumps to normal space, it's briefly out of contact, which he says to Londo and Sheridan. They're just sitting right fucking there.
Right?
Hey, here's a weakness you can exploit, Centauri fellow. Because the energy drain is so great, they can't even use their communicator for like a hot minute after they come out of hyperspace. And it probably was attacked during that period. And I know they say that so that the viewer can hear it, but also he's telling Londo that.
Right. This could have been private between Jakar and Natoth.
Yeah. And he's like, I didn't know, or they couldn't have known. Like, how could they have been blown up right after they came out unless, and then he looks at Londo and he looks at Sheridan. And I guess they were intended to give them equal time as if he is considering either one of them as the leak. But it ended up that they spent more time on Londo.
Yeah.
But JMS was like, no, he's suspicious of both of them. But Sheridan is the one who's like, what exactly are you implying, Ambassador? And he's like, oh, nothing. It's just that I'm too late. Everything is too late. Oh, Jakar. The first time he's really trying to make like a I'm saving the world difference. And he can't.
Right. He was actually trying to do something for the benefit of everybody.
Yeah.
But what's the opposite of the boy who cried wolf?
Well, he is the boy who cried wolf.
The boy who stabbed with a knife every time. And this is the time that he's not attempting to stab somebody.
And the person that betrayed him is the person he always believes will betray him.
Right.
So, which makes it even worse.
Right. Because he's always accusing Londo of doing things against him. And this time, that's the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah. And he's like, okay. Then Lanier comes in right when Jakar is like he's having a crisis. Lanier comes in and he's like, hey, y'all, introducing. He's like, Ambassador Delenn has been unavailable, but she's now returned. She spent quite a bit of time in Dr. Franklin's care. Let me tell you, you know the people that like to pick sunburns? When your sunburn starts to peel? You couldn't get my mom to leave you alone if you had a peeling sunburn. She would just, even if she could get like a big strip and those fucking hurt, she'd be like, hang on, I'm peeling a sunburn, which you're not even supposed to do. But it's fine. We all have our crosses to bear. So that's exactly what Dr. Franklin did. He broke that one and he was like, oh, can I do that again?
Oh, look, the next one's a little bit loose.
I'm just gonna, if I could just sit here and pick for him. They put on a movie. They picked all the scabs off. He's like, she is now returned and wishes to know if she may take back her seat on the council. And I love how overly dramatic her entrance is because she's wearing this robe with this giant hood that hangs all the way down. And they're like, Ambassador Sinclair. Oh, this is when Sheridan says, I've been looking forward to meeting her. And he looks really excited, like, oh, Delenn, I'm finally going to get to meet Delenn. This is really exciting. And so she comes in and pulls back her hood. And she says, Ambassador Sinclair has been allowed to live on my world as an act of good faith. And then I did this with the blessings of my government. So that
I wrote lies.
Lies. I did this and no one fucking stopped me so that I can become a bridge between our worlds in the hope that we will never know war between us again. And she's got this like coiffed hair and she looks
and
moisturized.
There's no more facial prosthetics.
No, and they said actually it took longer to put her in this makeup than it did to put her in the Mumbai makeup Because her Minbari makeup was just a whole headpiece.
Oh, yeah.
And then this one is like, they have to style her hair. They have to
Yeah,
put the
they have
bone
to-
crest.
They have to integrate it with her
There's
hair.
more, yeah. Because they each had like their set of prosthetics that they just got applied again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come back and he's talking to his sister. Sheridan's talking to his sister.
Right. Instant cut to him gushing about Delenn.
And he's like, all I could do was sit there with my jaw on the floor looking at her. Because, like, oh my God, she's so hot. Now kiss.
And his sister's like, oh, well,
I can't say I blame
that's what
you.
I came here for.
She says, has her genetic structure changed as well or just her outward appearance? I'm sorry, what?
She wants nieces and nephews.
Can you have babies?
Can you have babies with
Is
her?
she, like,
If you could have babies with her, then I'm on board.
how would your
Let's
outward
go.
appearance change without your genetic structure changing?
Surgery.
Yeah, but she didn't undergo surgery. She underwent chicanery, like
Magic surgery.
I don't want to talk. She metamorphosized into this
Yeah.
thing. It's fine. It's just a weird question. Did she glue the hair on? I don't know, Anna. Or Elizabeth. I don't know, Elizabeth. Jesus Christ. I didn't pull on it or anything. Yank on her eyebrows. Are those real? Stop. He said, I don't know. She didn't seem too inclined to talk about it. What did he do? Walk up and go like, do you have a vag now? What? Oh, you don't want to talk about it? That's fine. What? He goes, God, what a day. Garibaldi, the president, and now this, and it's not quite over yet. And this is when his sister finally, a week after she arrived on the ship, goes, so when I decided to come see you, I brought something with me, and I've been debating over whether or not I want to show it to you. And I'm not sure if it would like open up old wounds, but after our talk the other day, and you were blaming yourself or Anna taking the job on the Icarus, I've decided to finally share with you this message that I was given by your wife.
That changes your entire perception of the end of Anna's life.
That finally allows you to move on and be free and not blame yourself for her demise anymore. And it's been 2 years, but I guess I kind of decided you suffered long enough. And so now you can have this thing. And then she gives him the thing and leaves. Gives him like the data crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks off. And then we get the little clip. The clip that he's provided.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole call, just the clip. And it's basically her saying, like, they found these ruins. I really want to go see it. I was going to have to cancel, but luckily he canceled first. And you should have seen his face. He looked so guilty. I thought about telling him, hee ha ha,
that I was going to cancel anyway.
that I was going to cancel anyway, but I didn't get a chance to. One thing led to
Oopsie.
another, and I just get around to it.
I
Anyway,
was rushed.
say my love to Danny and the kids. Bye. And that's the end of it. And he just goes, I love you, Anna.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. All right. So it's not my fault. You still loved me. You knew I loved
Right.
you.
You were doing this anyway.
Yeah.
My canceling didn't give you the opportunity to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And later, this is the image that we're going to replace in flashbacks because we get a new wife. Is that a spoiler? I don't know if that's a spoiler. When we have to have footage of her again, she gets recast. And then we come back to Garibaldi talking to Talia, and he's like, I just really want to thank you for helping me again. And she's like, oh, it's really not a problem, but it's still not fucking admissible in court. And he's like, I know, fucking no. Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. He's like, now that you jog the old memory loose, I can take it from here. And speaking of taking it from here, can I have a minute?
Because he wants Talia to leave.
Yeah.
So that he can have a private conversation.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to remember what the context for all this was. It's because he wants to have a quick chat with the people that he trusts, which are like Ivanova and Dr. Franklin.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, I trust her as much as I trust any telepath, but she's still Psy-Core. And Ivanova's like, what does the core have to do with this? And he's like, I've been thinking about this salute that Jack gave me, and it's the same one that Bester gave me. And it was like he was rubbing my nose in something that he knew I could never prove. And then he harkens back to that scandal where Vice President Clark was endorsed by the Corps because their charter actually prohibits them from recommending candidates to their members. Almost like churches should be
In the U.S.?
prohibited from campaigning for certain candidates.
Yeah, there's...
Well, they were at one time.
They now have an exception.
Of course they do. Of course they fucking do. Anyway. And he goes, exactly. Now, Jack didn't admit anything, but what if it was the Psi Corps? What if someone wanted someone in the office
pieces are starting to fit together.
who was sympathetic to the Corps? Because before Earth Force One exploded, the vice president got off because he had the flu. Feels pretty convenient, doesn't it? Yep. And then this is when we come back to Sheridan saying goodbye to his sister. And she's like, all right, once in a while, let me know how you are. Yeah, sure. And then she gets on the Earth Cruiser Von Braun, which I guess there's a piece of trivia that this is actually the second time we've interacted with the Von Braun.
Okay.
So there must be shuttles that just go back and forth.
Yeah.
She goes, that's my ship. Take care, Johnny. I'll never ever see you again. Goodbye. She's like, you're my brother. Of course I'm going to come here and talk to you and share this thing with you that I should have shared with you immediately and never did. And then we go to Jakar because who gives a shit about Elizabeth and
Right. That's
her drama.
finally closed up.
We never have to talk about her again. And he's talking to Natoth. Not Natoth, because she's just sitting there staring at him like, bloop, bloop. Do I get paid hourly? Or do I get paid by the episode? Do I get paid weekly?
On the whole Sheridan thing.
Oh, yeah.
Sheridan's? Because I think his sister's last name is Sheridan.
Yeah.
Even though she's married with kids.
Right.
Right? Okay. But I wonder if that was partly to give him a tragic backstory, but also to explicitly let the audience know that he is ready for a relationship.
Oh, yeah. It could be. That he has had he's not Sinclair.
Right,
He's not had a tumultuous
There's a
love life.
reason that he doesn't have an existing relationship.
Yeah.
That is now resolved.
Oh, this was, yeah, she showed up
Yeah.
specifically to provide plot points and then to disappear off into the
Right.
horizon. Yeah.
Right.
And it was he was married. He is capable of having a long-term committed relationship. He would still be in one. However, his wife passed away.
Right. And he's been
And it's
grieving
been
over
2
her
years.
because of a lack of information, which is why he has not gotten into a new relationship.
But now he can say goodbye.
But now he's gotten some closure
Yep.
about that. So, boom.
Oh, that's precisely why she's there.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's the only reason she exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get Jakar and Natoth reading poetry.
I know. It's a good moment because they're sitting in the rock Zen garden. And he's like, things have changed, but they'll never be the same. And honestly, this is what I was joking about. Not Natoth looks like she's just thinking about literally everything but Jakar. I'm going to be so hard on her. I'm so sorry. Well, we need a new target because Dr. Franklin's going to get character development. We're not going to be able to joke about him anymore. So now we need somebody. He goes, we have learned to cope with change, to triumph in the face of adversity. We will overcome this as well because we have no other choice. We will either die valiantly or we will either live valiantly or die valiantly, one or the other. And she just goes, what is that? Because he's holding a book. And he's like, a human book. I've been studying their literature for a while and I came across this. And then he reads the poem from Yeats.
Sheridan,
Ivanova to Sheridan. You're needed in CNC.
be right there.
Things have changed, Natoth, and they will never be the same. But we are Narns. We have learned to cope with change, to triumph in the face of adversity. We will overcome this as well. We have no other choice.
What is that?
A human book. I've been studying their literature for a while, and I came across this. It would seem they may be wiser than we had thought. Listen. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed. And everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. And what rough beast? Its hour come round at last. Slouches toward Bethlehem to be born.
And that's the end of that scene. And then we come to Sheridan talking to Ivanova. And he goes, so what's the problem? And Ivanova says, well, on a hunch, I checked the ship that was taking the prisoner back to Earth. And he was
Based
transferred.
on Garibaldi's suspicions.
Yeah, he was transferred to another ship half an hour ago. And it had the right markings. It had the right codes. It had everything correct. But when I checked on the code and the ship, it doesn't exist.
It's not a registered Earth Force ship.
So everything is gone. The evidence is gone. The prisoner is gone. All of it gone.
And the president is not answering calls.
Yep. And the president's not answering the phone right now. And Sheridan goes, He pauses for a minute and then he says, gets cold up here sometimes, doesn't it, Lieutenant Commander? And she goes, yes, sir. It does indeed.
Gets cold up here sometimes, doesn't it, Lieutenant Commander?
Yes, sir. It does indeed.
That was a fucking good line.
Yes.
That was a fucking good line.
It's cold up here sometimes.
That was good for like a variety of reasons. One, because that was just a really good line.
Yep.
And two, it was an important demarcation between the way Sinclair would have dealt with that crisis and the way Sheridan deals with the crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sheridan is like, okay, I see you. I see you, President Clark. I cooperated and you betrayed me. We'll see how it goes next time.
Yep.
Sinclair would never have let it go.
Right. He would have chased it down.
Yeah.
He would have exposed it.
Yeah.
ASAP.
Right. He couldn't have let it go.
Right.
But Sheridan's like, okay, all right, I will let this battle go because this guy's small fish. But in the end, I'm winning because I'm now aware that sometimes you're not going to act in the best interest of Earth or me or justice. It gets cold up here sometimes, doesn't it? And I think that's a great way to show us that Sheridan is going to be a much more quietly rebellious character than Sinclair would have been. Where Sinclair was very overt in his he could only do the smash.
Sinclair's a paladin.
Yeah, you don't think Sheridan's a paladin?
Because he's less idealistic. He's less overt. Where a paladin is almost single-minded about the ideals of their patron deity.
Yeah.
And
would he be,
a
then?
paladin is the one who goes on the crusade.
Yeah.
Wielding their sword, exposing evil to the light of whatever.
Is Sheridan a rogue?
A rogue, or I think you might be able to qualify him as a commander, like a fighter, but as like a military, like an actual military commander.
He could be cross-classed. He's a rogue fighter.
Rogue fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he is definitely more sleight of hand.
Or bard fighter. Because of the diplomacy.
Well, you can get that from, okay. Yeah. He's more of like a cross-classed, like, because bards are really roguish, roguelike.
Yeah.
And so bard, I would say.
And it's about putting on the show.
Right. He's very much about putting on the show.
Right.
But he's like a lawful good bard.
Right.
Yeah. But people think bard just means you're trying to fuck everything. I don't think
wrong.
that's I don't think that's the only. I think that's the way that bard generally gets played. But I think it's supposed to be more of the like you're the storyteller, you're the inspiration character.
Right, but a diplomat or ambassador is a bard.
Is a bard. Yeah, you are the leader.
It's
character.
all about the show.
Right.
The spokesperson.
The performance and the persuasion.
Yes.
And you're okay. So if you're too
and arranging things behind the scenes.
Right. So if your two like proficiency classes are really persuasion and what was the other one? Performance, then bard. So Sheridan's a bard. Sheridan is absolutely a bard.
But he's like a battle bard.
Well, I mean, you could do that. Like the swashbuckler.
Yeah.
The swashbuckler subclass. Where he's not a pirate, but he's like totally capable of throwing in when needed.
Right. That's why I was thinking fighter.
Right. But he's going to be far more likely to try diplomacy. But if diplomacy fails, he'll also fuck your shit up. Mm-hmm. Whereas, Sinclair was single-minded in his
in a
pursuit.
way that you're not going to see coming.
Right. Exactly.
Whereas Sinclair, like Sheridan doesn't care if everyone else knows that you got taken down. Whereas Sinclair needs everyone to know that you got taken down and to see what you were.
Yes. Yeah. To expose the.
But Sheridan is just like, I just need you removed from the board.
Right. Yeah. And if he has a small loss, that's okay because it's still information. He's not going to chase after this guy because then everyone's going to know
he
that
plays his cards close to the chest.
Right. Everyone's going to know that he's not going to be cooperative, which means they're not going to show as much to him in the future as they will if he's just like, oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't love that Jack is gone, but he's not on Babylon 5 anymore.
Right. And Sinclair did have a couple times where he played it like he was cooperating, but it was a very short amount of time.
Right. And it was usually just so he could read the law book. Like it gave him enough time to sort through the
Whereas
laws.
Sheridan, he'll play the game for months.
Yeah.
Years.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he knows that that's how he gets the most information. That's how he positions himself into a place where he can do the most good, is by temporarily cooperating.
4D chess.
Yeah. Yeah. Sheridan's playing 4D chess. Sinclair smashed. He just flipped the chessboard.
Yes. Sinclair would flip the chessboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheridan plays the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's and it's a good place to leave it too. So we live for the one.
We would die for the one.
Until next time, friends.
Bye.
Bye.